Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So I'm taking a look at the crypto market right now, and we're seeing a little bit of red on the board. Bitcoin down about 1.8%, Ethereum down 4.4%, Binance Coin down 1.9%. We got XRP down about 2.4%. So these are small percentages to the downside. We're not seeing a big red day today. Yesterday we did see some green on the board. So that was positive news. Right now XRP is trading at about 87 cents. Bitcoin trading at about $37,500. So I got XRP up here on the daily. You can see not too much movement. We are still kind of in this holding pattern here. Same for Bitcoin, right? Still in this holding pattern, holding support down here of about $30,000. Just kind of hovering close to the 0.236. So not too much movement, low volume, not a lot of trading going on. The market cap right now is sitting at about just under $1.6 trillion. And you guys can see over here, Bitcoin dominance has actually gone up a bit and has been going up ever so slightly since it hit 40%. And I believe at some point it was even actually under 40%. Let me just bring up the Bitcoin dominance chart here. Now, this is really going to dictate when we will see that next altcoin rally. You guys can see back here, back in May 19th, we did see a low for Bitcoin dominance at about 39.63%. So I did note that over here at that time. We did see Bitcoin dominance go up as alts rallied. Then it kind of retraced. Now Bitcoin dominance is slowly climbing once again. So, this to me does not look like a strong Bitcoin recovery. To me, this looks like a correction, and eventually what we're going to see, Bitcoin dominance fall, and this is when we will see altcoins hit their peak. I mean, I don't know where this will go to in the past. We have seen Bitcoin dominance go as low as about 35%. So it's all going to depend on Bitcoin price compared to the rest of the altcoin market. How much of the market Bitcoin commands based on its price and market cap compared to the rest of the crypto space. So this is anyone's guess. I mean, I guess we need to see if we can break this former support level for Bitcoin dominance. So, I mean, even if we do tap this, we might actually see another retracement come back up. We might see a retest before we even go down further. So again, it's anybody's guess. This is where Bitcoin dominance held in the last bull run. And so what can we expect next? Well, it's anyone's guess. We know this market is more robust than the last time around. So hopefully we will see those altcoins soar. And I wanted to bring this up, guys, from the Cryptic Poet here on Twitter. Fact, only 9 out of the top 50 coins in 2015 survived. And XRP was one of them. Now, I don't know if I would use the word survived, but he does bring up a good point here. 9 live, 41 dead. The coins that lived, please do note here, Bitcoin, XRP, Litecoin, Dash, Dogecoin, Stellar, Monero, NEM, and Tether. And I wouldn't even really consider Tether as one of those cryptocurrencies because we do know it is a stable coin. And so it does kind of serve another purpose. People aren't buying it. They're not purchasing it for the same reasons as they would other cryptocurrencies. But I think the point here is that the coins that stay in the top 50 now, these coins are not dead. They're just not in the top 50 anymore. The coins that do stay in the top 50 usually have more eyeballs on them, usually have projects in the background, developers actively working on them. And so just be careful, guys, of what you're investing in. Make sure that you're doing your due diligence, doing your research, so as not to get screwed down the road. Remember, there are a lot of coins in this space, over 10,000 cryptocurrencies, and a lot of them are going to fall to the wayside at some point. We're not going to see all these cryptocurrencies stay around. Regulation around the world and the regulatory clarity in the United States specifically is really going to sort this game out. Buying cryptocurrencies with solid projects behind them is really the only way I go, unless I am trading in a spec market over the short to medium term, in which case I'm just looking at the fundamentals on the chart and, preparing to cash out 100% of those positions. But that is just trading in a spec market. Of course, if you are looking to hold, the coins that you should be holding long-term are coins that have real-world utility, that have a purpose, that solve a problem. But so how do we know which coins are which, right? Well, you got to do your research. And I have a feeling that all this is going to come to a head very, very soon. So John Deaton posted this: Gensler wants to regulate crypto assets through the SEC. It is becoming clearer and clearer the SEC versus Ripple case becomes more significant as each day passes. Now, let's not forget, guys, John Deaton is a lawyer himself. He does have a law degree, and he sees this as being a quintessential case for the entire crypto market. Now, this isn't the first time we've heard this. Let me remind you guys what Gary Gensler was saying. This article was just released a couple of days ago, but I wanted to go over it again. So the SEC is doubling down on its call to regulate cryptocurrency exchanges. During the Global Exchanges and FinTech Virtual Conference held by Piper Sandler, Gary Gensler called for establishing a federal regulatory regime for them to ensure investor protection. Now, when I originally reported on this article, I was just going over the key points, giving you guys the gist of what happened. But the more I thought about this, the more I thought, does Gary Gensler want something more than what the SEC has today? And how hard is he working to get what he wants? So crypto assets are largely traded on exchanges, and the public should have investor protection regimes around them. We need a federal regime where they are registered and regulated. Back in May, the SEC urged Congress to bring regulatory clarity to cryptocurrency trading platforms while raising concerns over fraud and market manipulation. In addition, Gensler is considering revamping rules that govern stock trading. So this talks a little bit about stock trading. During his latest CNBC interview, he said that crypto assets should have the same protections as equities and commodities. Now, on the surface, that just sounds like, well, we need to protect investors because they don't know what they're doing getting into the crypto market and they need our guidance. But what this sounds like to me is that Gensler is maneuvering for a power grab, potentially. So he goes on to say, here's what I'm pretty confident about. Investors don't have full protections that they have in the equities market or in the commodities futures markets. Bitcoin and these other cryptocurrencies don't have these full protections. It's a speculative asset class. So this power grab, currently the SEC does not really have any control over cryptocurrencies because, well, technically, they're currencies. We know FinCEN has gone on the record when Ripple was back in court in 2015 and said XRP is a currency. We have heard this many times. We've heard it numerous times. So is this part of the story? The SEC worried that the Howey test is not going to apply to cryptocurrencies and therefore out of their jurisdiction. This was posted by DJ Peter Vass just today. SEC warns that a Ripple win on fair notice defense would nullify the Howey test. So earlier this week, Ripple filed a SIR reply that argued that more than 70 lawsuits brought by the SEC against cryptocurrency firms don't serve as fair notice for Ripple Labs. This SIR reply, made public on Twitter by attorney James K. Fillon, responds to the SEC's reply, supporting its motion to strike Ripple's fourth affirmative defense, lack of fair notice. So we talked a little bit about this. What I wanted to just mention was down here in the article, the SEC argued that giving into the defendant's fair notice argument could nullify the Howey test and its progeny's flexible rather than static principle if a fair notice defense can defeat any claim involving an investment product that is not identical to one previously deemed a security. So the Howey test currently utilized to determine if something is a security or not. For those of you guys who do not know, the Howey test refers to the U.S. Supreme Court case for determining whether a transaction qualifies as an investment contract. Okay, this was back almost 100 years ago now. Under the Howey test, an investment contract exists if there is an investment of money in a commonplace enterprise with a reasonable expectation of profits to be derived from the efforts of others. So just some key takeaways here, and guys, I will link this in the description of the video for those of you guys who are interested in perusing further. The Howey test determines what qualifies as an investment contract and would therefore be subject to U.S. securities laws. An investment contract exists if there is an investment of money. Of course, I just mentioned that. The Howey test is important for situating blockchain and digital currency projects with investors and project backers. So right now they are applying it to cryptocurrencies and blockchain projects. So that is interesting that this Investopedia article does mention that certain cryptocurrencies and initial coin offerings may be found to meet the definition of an investment contract under the Howey test. However, the Howey test does have to succeed in all four criteria, which is an investment of money in a commonplace enterprise with the expectation for profit and to be derived from the efforts of others. So this is the criteria, and this is an interesting kind of moment in time that we're going through. And, with an emerging asset class comes all these teething pains, and XRP doesn't necessarily tick off all the boxes for the Howey test. I mean, there are arguments to and for that, and ultimately, this is what they are arguing in court. So, Gary Gensler moving in for a power grab, perhaps wanting to revamp the current Howey test so that cryptocurrencies fall under the same banner, or are we going to get a regulatory body that is separate from the SEC to regulate cryptocurrencies? Well, I saw this guy's from Mr. Decrypto here on Twitter. Hey, SEC, remind us why Ripple is being sued again. this should be criminal. And I'm going to play you guys this clip. This is Gary Gensler at MIT teaching about cryptocurrencies. Listen to this.
Initial coin offerings are ways people have raised money. Vitalik Buterin did this to raise his $18 million in 2014, if I have my year right, for the Ether network. By 2016, somebody had raised $150 million in an initial coin offering. The concept is basically, I want to get proceeds for a network I haven't yet built. I'm going to build this network, but instead of selling equity to a venture capital fund, I'm going to sell a bunch of tokens that someday, hopefully, will be usable. It's a neat way to crowdfund. And foremost, they're trying to enhance the value of the tokens they sold because often they still own tokens.
So before I go on to the Jay Clayton clip, notice what he says. An interesting way to crowdfund. Essentially, not seeing any problem with this. Of course, this was before he was at the SEC. So now here's Jay Clayton. Listen to this.
There are thousands and thousands of private placements that go on every year in the U.S. We want them to go on. We want people to raise capital, but we want them to do it right.
Right.
What ICOs do is they take the disclosure light benefits of a private placement and then add to it the public general solicitation and retail investor promise of a secondary market without registering with us. And folks somehow got comfortable that this was new and it was okay and it was not a security, it was just some other way to raise money. Well, I disagree with them.
Interesting. So Jay Clayton, too, obviously having an issue with cryptocurrencies and, suggesting at this point in time that they should be under the SEC's jurisdiction. Meanwhile, Gary Gensler, before he was at the SEC at MIT, saying, ICOs, a very interesting, innovative way to raise money. I can see where Mr. Decrypto here is a little frustrated with this. SEC, remind us why Ripple is being sued again. Now, Ripple has gone on the record. I think it's public knowledge at this point that Ripple, the company, was funded with venture capital money. XRP was created and deployed in the ecosystem as a way to give the network value. Was some XRP sold? Absolutely. Was it sold for the purpose of building Ripple? Probably not. Again, there's a lot of information out there on this. That's just my opinion. I'm sure other people do have other opinions on this, which just goes back to this point here. This case with the SEC and Ripple is going to be very, very significant, and it is going to be precedent setting. So Massimo down here in the tweet thread saying, we will certainly push Congress to achieve that. Of course, we have representatives there, which means nothing for us mere mortals. Most people blinded by tribalism have no idea how crucial a Ripple win is for the crypto space. Riding Japan down here saying, so the poster boy savior of Ripple that was cheered months ago turned out to be a new warlord against crypto in general. People couldn't wait for him to get appointed / sworn in, even though he's had videos online dating XRP as a security. Now, he has also called XRP, to be fair, he has also called XRP a currency in some of these MIT videos. And he has said that, in his opinion, at a point in time, he did see XRP as a security, but that he would let the courts decide on the verdict of the court case. So this was after Ripple was handed that lawsuit. Night Prowler over here saying, clarity, yes, regulate, no. They will drive it into the ground if they do just like they did with the dollar. And Bob over here saying, I think John is correct, and all the more reason that Ripple wins. Remember that Garlinghouse has said all along that he is in favor of working with regulators. So let's not forget this, guys. Ripple has always said, we want to work with regulators. We want to be part of this system. We are not trying to act in bad faith. He is in a very strong position in shaping the future of crypto in the United States. So a lot more opinions down here in this tweet thread. Again, I will link this in the description of the video. The fact of the matter remains, Ripple is in a pretty strong position. So this from Stefan Hubert, the reason the SEC can't destroy or manipulate the documents on Bitcoin and Ethereum is because some of the former SEC executives are now on the defense at Ripple. Even though they are bound by official secrecy, they know whether the documents they receive are complete and accurate. So this is also something to note. The defense at Ripple used to work for the SEC. For those of you guys who do not remember, 2 ex-SEC executives team up with Ripple in massive legal battle. Okay, this was back from March. The third biggest digital currency will be defended by Mary Jo White, the former chair of the SEC, as well as the former enforcement chief Andrew Cesarni. Okay, the lawyers will be attempting to discredit the SEC's notion that this cryptocurrency, namely XRP, is a security. And so for those of you guys who do not know, Mary Jo White served as the 31st chair of the Security and Exchange Commission from 2013 to 2017. She was the first woman to be the United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York, serving from 93 to 2002, and remains the only Senate-confirmed woman. So she's on Ripple's defense team. Mary Jo White, a lawyer from De Bevois and Plimpton LLP. There's also this guy, Andrew Cesarni, a partner at De Bevois and Plimpton LLP. This is his LinkedIn page, and if you guys go down here to his experience, director of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission from April 2013 to December 2016. So these guys formerly worked for the SEC, now defending Ripple. And so to Stéphane Hubert's point here, the documents, they cannot be altered. These guys likely already know what are in these documents. Down here, Stéphane continues, these former government employees do not have to break their official secrecy even once. They only have to ask the right questions. Another example of how useful this can be. When I ask for sensitive government information, I have to be very specific about which documents and minutes I am talking about or on which days the meetings took place. Since I often ask precisely because I don't have this information, I sometimes have to guess and hope to get a hit. Former government employees know exactly what to ask for without ever violating their official secrets. People who say that it is not possible because then the laws are broken do not know how an administration works and how many documents there are that are lost by mistake, cannot be found at the moment because of a retired employee, he says, in quotes, or were scanned or stored incorrectly, in quotes. So Stéphane here pointing out something very, very important. Because Ripple has 2 former SEC employees on their team, this just gives them leverage, right? This just gives them leverage. They know what questions to ask. They likely know what are in these documents. They know how to phrase their questions in order to be legally bound by their, secrecy when they were working for the SEC, so on and so forth. I also just want to bring this up, guys. Apparently, Brad Garlinghouse also has now welcomed a new attorney to defend him, and that new attorney is Nicole Tatz. She is now joining the Ripple team from the law firm Cleary, Gottlieb, Steen, and Hamilton LLP, and so she will be representing Brad Garlinghouse. So what do you guys think of all this? Do you think the SEC wants jurisdiction over cryptocurrencies, even though they are technically not securities, but indeed currencies? Do you think Gary Gensler is gunning to revamp the Howey test? Or how likely is it that the US government could create a separate body just dedicated to cryptocurrency regulatory clarity governing the use of cryptocurrencies from here on out? To John Deaton's point here, the Ripple case becomes more significant as each day passes. That's his opinion, my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.